FiiO has been at it again. This is the FH19 IM from FiiO. We've got 8 drivers per side. That's 2 dynamic drivers and 6 balanced armatures. We're going to get into it. Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if it's your first time. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? David here from Prime Audio Reviews. So the FiiO FH19, this is FiiO's new hybrid flagship model. It's coming in at a price of $599. So not for the weak of heart. This is an enthusiast model with an enthusiast price. So this is what they look like. Let me just remove my ear tips first of all. And speaking of ear tips though, before we get into it, FiiO, you done me proud. These earphones come with like 21 or 23 pairs of ear tips. It's unbelievable. This is what this is what you should find inside every high-priced IM box. So you get all those ones. You get a bunch more here. You get spin fit ear tips. You get the FiiO ear tips. 21 or 23 different pairs and sizes and styles in total. That is fantastic. Thank you, FiiO. You get a nice carrying case too. That's it there. And what have we got inside? We got a 3.5mm plug, a cleaning tool, an MMCX easy removal tool, and a little magnetic strap for the cable. And that cable, by the way, well, we might do the cable first. Let's just remove the IMs, and there they are. So we've got an MMCX connectors there. This is a modular cable. It's a beautiful cable. Actually, it's the same as, what is it? The FiiO LCRD Pro 2022. So it's modular, and you can change the tip out by unscrewing that little bit and pulling it out. It's a bit tight, and you get like that. So you get a 4.4mm and 3.5mm in the box. So back to the IMs, and I should mention now, you get these in the box too. You get some tuning filters. It's 3 sets in total. You get red filters for bass, green for treble, and black for balance. Now the green and the black are very similar. They're almost identical. Almost impossible to hear the difference. Not quite, but almost. And then you get the red one, which elevates the bass quite significantly. So the red one stands out as being different, while the black and the green are fairly similar. I prefer the green and the black, and right now I've got the green treble tips attached, or the filters attached. So this is what the shells look like. The majority is aluminium. It feels really, really good. And this frame here is titanium, adding strength and I guess some aesthetic appeal as well. Now the filters, of course, just like any other nozzle filters, just screw out, as simple as that. They are pretty small though, so you got to take care, otherwise you might lose them. But I think the design looks great. They are pretty chunky. They're pretty big. I mean, we've got 8 drivers inside, including 2 dynamics. I do find these comfortable, but you know, they're not low profile in your ear. They're pretty big. If you've got tiny ears, or if you don't like bulky IMs, well, that's going to be a problem. Personally, I like the look and I find them comfortable. I don't mind the size in the least. Now for the important part of the review, we're going to talk about the sound. So FH19, it's an efficient IM. It works well with pretty much any source, of course. Such a classy IM as this deserves at least a dongle DAC. Don't run it straight out of your phone, although you can. So the FH19 has a U-shaped sound profile with a warm and full-bodied character. It's got musicality and impressive technical performance as well. It's got really high resolution as well as emotional depth or engagement. But let's just throw up the graph. And I've already talked about the filters. So the bass is punchy, it's nice and authoritative. It's got a prominent mid bass though. That doesn't mean there isn't ample sub bass. There is, and it does have a nice rumble to it. The mid bass, however, is quite forward. People who like that sort of hollow upper bass might be upset by this. Personally, I find it refreshing and very engaging. I like that. I think the bass is nice and versatile as well. It sort of adapts itself to each recording, so it's not always big and full on and boomy, but if the track is recorded in that way, that's what you're going to hear. It's not the most defined or textured bass, but it does have good impact, good authority, and good extension. Now for the mid-range, and the mid-range is a standout feature on the FH19. It's lush, it's full-bodied, it's got richness and warmth, but it doesn't sound in any way overwhelming or muddy. Every instrument and vocal has excellent clarity. The overall resolution in the mids is fantastic as well. Male vocals in particular have a nice, rich, powerful presence. But despite having that fullness in the mid-range, it's got exceptional clarity and detail. That said though, the mids aren't entirely transparent due to that underlying bass, which sort of adds warmth and body to the mids, but slightly softens the overall definition as well. But things like string instruments definitely benefit from that added richness. They have a lovely resonant quality. And then we've got the treble, and look, the treble is balanced nicely with the bass and the mid-range. It's not a standout element in the sound signature, but that's kind of what makes it good in a way. Like, it complements the overall sound. It adds clarity, it adds definition, while at the same time it helps to maintain the overall smooth character. This is a very non-fatiguing IEM, so it's good for long listening sessions. And although the green filter is called the treble filter, the treble itself isn't really boosted, but the bass is slightly attenuated, which raises the perceived level of the treble. Now, when it comes to soundstage and technicalities, the soundstage width and depth are above average. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, you can probably tell, or you've been sitting here guessing the whole time, but these are a semi-open IEM. So yes, they do have a nice wide soundstage, which is enhanced even more by excellent resolution and instrument separation. So spaces between individual instruments and vocals have a nice black background, and each element occupies its own space within the soundstage. So great for gaming, great for immersion in music and movies. Note density is good. You know, it sounds nice and substantial. It has physicality and body to it. Now, comparison time, and comparison number one will be with the FiiO Acoustics Volair. Now, this is one of my favorite IEMs of the year. Absolutely love it to bits, partly in due to that gorgeous design and extremely comfortable and compact fit. And the Volair comes in at exactly the same price, $599. It's got one dynamic driver, 4 balanced armatures, and 4 EST drivers. It has more sub-bass focus than the FA19, and it's got excellent, obviously, bass extension into the lows. It's got less mid-bass presence, which actually sounds a little bit cleaner and leaner in the upper bass, and makes the bass presentation sound a bit tighter overall. The Volair and the FH19 are both relatively balanced in the mid-range, but the FH19 has a slight recession in the core mid-range at around 600 Hz, and that makes the FH19 sound slightly more recessed or laid back in the presence of male vocals. The Volair has a higher rise in the upper mids, and that gives it more presence and brightness up there, so female vocals are a bit more vibrant. The Volair has also a more energetic treble presentation. This gives the Volair more enhanced detail and a little bit extra sparkle, but it sounds edgier compared to the FH19's treble, which is very smooth. Now, in terms of soundstage, the Volair has a very good soundstage, excellent in fact, but you know, that semi-open back of the FH19, despite its warm character, it's got a very nice expansive stage. Both excel in technicalities and soundstage, so I love both of these IEMs, I really do. Next up, we have the Meze Audio Adva. No, this is not that knockoff EPZ model. This is the real Advar, and this is priced at, well, it was originally when I reviewed it, not sure about now, $699. And just look at the difference in the shell size. Check that out. The Advar has just a single 10.2mm dynamic driver, and it has definitely more emphasis in the sub-bass region, which results in more deep bass rumble and bass impact. In addition to that, it's got more mid-bass presence than the FH19, so it sounds warmer and fuller in the bass, and that carries over a bit into the mids. So the Advars, that is, the Advars mids sound thicker in vocals and instruments, especially ones that live in the lower mid-range. The Advar also has a higher peak around 2 to 4 kilohertz, sort of edging towards that presence region, which makes vocals and mid-range instruments more forward and prominent in the mix and sort of more energetic. And it has a more pronounced treble response as well, especially in the 4 to 6 kilohertz range, and that gives it a brighter, more detailed sound with more emphasis on upper harmonics. It could also add some sharpness and sibilance as well. So the FH19 isn't as good at detail retrieval. The Advar, surprisingly, is better at micro details, but the FH19 is definitely less fatiguing and smoother overall. Alright guys, so that is the FiiO FH19. Awesome IEM, absolutely love it. If you want a flagship IEM without paying the full price of a flagship IEM, or if you're looking for an upgrade for your FH9, just looking for a great IEM in general and get a few dollars to spare, then check out this one, highly recommended. Gonna wrap it up there. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, PAL Family audiophile style, and if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button before you go, and until next time, I'll see you later.